I think, you know, music and animals have something in common. People love music, but they don't realize you're not waiting till the end of the song to go hooray. Every second of that song is what's making you happy. And the same with animals. Animals, I mean, they live in the moment. They're not thinking about tomorrow. They're just happy, and they want, you know, they want to be loved, they want to be cared for. They make you live in the moment. It's about rescuing dogs. It's also about being rescued by dogs and music. My sister was, she had a really strong connection with animals. Like, you know, there was some homeless teenagers near our office one day that had a Rottweiler, and the Rottweiler was limping. And instead of her sort of walking by like most people would, she boldly went up to these kids and said, you know, what's going on with your dog? And then she ended up piling them all in her car and going to the Humane Society to get this dog's leg checked out. But that's like, she had a really hard time, you know, turning a blind eye to these things. And, you know, that's what the world needs, I guess, is people who take action. It was just my sister and I growing up, and we were best friends. We were very close. We went through, you know, lots of moves and broken homes, and so we really leaned on each other a lot. We always had pets growing up. I would say more dogs than anything. And now I have 3, as you know. My sister was well loved. She was very social. She was very fiery, feisty girl with a very big personality, and probably the only person who really got me. She was sick for 5 years, almost pretty much to the day. You know, Shane Carter, again, who's the president of Sony Canada, spoke at her memorial and said that they kept her desk. They always had her desk. So when she would come off, you know, chemo or whatever it was that made her able to come back to work, that they always had her position. You know, there was a lot of amazing music. I had 6 artists play at her memorial. Carol and Don Johnson flew up from Nashville to play. Oh Susanna, Russell DeCarl, and my family from Nova Scotia played Amazing Grace. It's, you know, triple fiddle. And we had about a dozen friends bring their dogs. When everyone was seated, almost like a wedding, I suppose, we brought the dogs down the aisle, and people didn't know they were coming, and everyone was just like blown away. You know, my sister left instructions that said, just make sure that there's music and dogs. I remember it was about 48 hours after she passed away, and I was thinking, what would she have liked us to support? The inspiration was to start something in her name, and the name Gimme Shell-ter with 2 L's and a hyphen. It just, you know, has the word Shelley in it, and it's music related, and everyone just went, yeah, that's it. Because I'm involved in country music, we take part in Country Music Week, which is every September. And I came up with this idea of music rescues, where I got as many artists as I could to do it. It's a very fun, very kind of silly event. We usually attach ourselves to a local shelter, and basically we have it's a run and gun show. Everyone gets up and does 2 songs acoustically. There's dogs running all over the room that are available for adoption. And both years, the dogs that were on site eventually were all adopted. Paul Brandt played at my very first music rescues in Halifax. And when we finished the event, he said, we should take this on the road. Like, we should really do this. And, you know, that's what I hope to do someday. It'd be a road trip, you know, that we take it coast to coast. I think that animals have this incredible innate sense of when their owner is in need of healing. And in 2013, my mother died, and then 6 months later, my sister died. And then my stepfather of 40 years had just passed away, and so that was it. That was my entire immediate family was gone. And I had my dad's dog, which was this little terrier named Bailey. And I was laying on my bed, and I remember, as people do when they're grieving, just like laying there, staring at the ceiling. And that little dog, you know, who was mostly a yappy little energetic creature, like crawled up on my bed ever so slowly and literally came up onto my chest and just lay there. And I was just like, he knows.